Jesus took his disciples up the mountain, and gathering them around him, he taught them, saying, "Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven." You know these verses. "Blessed are the meek. Blessed are they that mourn. Blessed are the merciful. Blessed are they who thirst for justice. Blessed are the concerned. Blessed are you when you're persecuted. Blessed are you when you suffer. Be glad and rejoice, for your reward is great in heaven." And he said to them, "Try to remember what I'm telling you." Then Simon Peter said, "Will this count?" And Andrew said, "Will we have a test on this?" And James said, "When do we have to know it for?" Bartholomew said, "Will I have to stand up in front of the others and recite it?" And John said, "Well, the other disciples didn't have to learn more." Obviously, they didn't have their act together. But we're talking about disciples. And each week this month, we've had someone share a bit about what to them it feels like and means to be a disciple. And now our gospel lesson ties it all together. This is Jesus' resurrection speech to his disciples, sending them on what is known as the Great Commission. And we've probably heard those words before. Being sent, being called. These are words that are preached over and over. But I wonder, can that be a little intimidating? I'm guessing it might be. Because as often as we're told God calls us to be, or doers of justice, or offerers of kindness, or you fill in the blank, we're not always shown how it's done. Could it be that every time we hear the Great Commission we get nervous? Because come on, what exactly does it mean? You know, as adults, we get a lot of satisfaction, we get a lot of our sense of self from our areas in which we're competent, things that we do well or enjoy, whether it's at work, at home. Maybe it's some activity we like to do or hobbies that we take time to do. We find meaning and definition in what we do really well. And that's why when we find ourselves in situations where we don't feel competent, where we're unsure, our anxiety shoots through the roof. And this, by the way, is why adults have a hard time learning a language or another instrument. We don't feel competent, we get nervous, there's so much anxiety around it, and then we just say, "Oh, forget it, I can't do it." It's not because our brains are too full or too old. So to ease anxiety, then, I'd like to know, or I'd like to invite you to think, and maybe you can share it out loud. Of course, that probably just ratchets your anxiety right up again when I ask you to share something out loud. But what is it that you do or have done, whether it's work-wise or in your life, something that you enjoy doing, that you feel good about? Or you felt confident, or you feel confident in what you're doing. For instance, when I'm cooking, you put me in the kitchen and I'm perfectly fine. I like it, I'm right at home there. So I'm not nervous about it, unless I'm really trying some new recipe and I don't want it to turn out terrible. But it would be helpful to know what you were good at. I was thinking of Don Judge as I was writing this part of the sermon, because I remember, your stories of being a pilot. A Marine Corps pilot, and that's something you were good at, obviously, because they kept you doing it for a long time, right, Don? what are things? And Rob, I know you are really good at cooking. I think of some people are really good at sense of humor. What can you just maybe say something that you feel really competent at and really good at, and it makes you feel good? Anyone? Teaching, singing, yes.
Ringing handbells.
Ringing handbells. Thank God somebody's good at that. I couldn't do that. Crochet. See, there's another thing. I can knit. Don't ask me to crochet. Doing lawns, right, John? Snow plowing? Landscaping, right? Yep, Miguel knows that. Caregiving, absolutely. Being a parent, do you feel competent being parents? Those of you who are parents? Have you been at it long enough? Okay. There's always, that's probably one thing that's always going to throw you for. But these are things that we are good at. And I look around the room and I know each of you enough that I know that there are things that you're very, very good at. And I'm grateful for that. So, knowing these things that we are good at, I'd like to show you that we are already part of the Great Commission that Jesus tells us to go out on. But I want to break it down for you because it can be intimidating to know that Jesus is sending us, go forth, therefore go forth and baptize in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit, and that means to all nations. As you go, baptize and teach. Those two things, really. So we usually think of it as going forth, right? It sounds like we're supposed to go really far away and bring the message somewhere. But the actual translation means something more like, as you're doing what you do, as you live your life, do these things. So that means, as you live your life, baptize, teach. Okay, wait, baptizing? Does that mean we have to take everyone we meet down to the river and baptize them? But could baptizing simply mean inviting someone, maybe to come to worship with you, or take part in our study group, or come help out with something you're already volunteer at? I think of Mary and the people she involves at Pawcatuck Neighborhood Center, and I know a number of you help out there, and all these different places. So baptizing can simply mean inviting someone in and sharing or helping out. It can be that simple. And then there's that teaching thing. Now those of you who are teachers, Sonia's just really happy today, she's just sitting away. There's that teaching thing. Now those of you who are teachers know what it's like to teach. And some of us unwittingly actually teach as well. As parents you teach your children. We likely don't realize that teaching is actually modeled for us. And it actually happens, believe it or not, in worship. The teaching Jesus' disciples are supposed to do is basically to do what he did with them. Think about that. Teaching is to simply do what Jesus did for the disciples, is simply do what Jesus does with us. So when we share in a baptism and offer our support, then we're taking part in Jesus' actions. When we share in the Lord's Supper, we are doing what Jesus did. When we sing carols and come together under a star at Christmas time, we're participating in Jesus' birth. When we have ashes placed on our foreheads on Ash Wednesday, when we observe Lent, and when we rejoice Easter morning, we are walking those last days of Jesus' death and his resurrection. So you might argue, well, Jesus healed people and cast out demons, but I have an answer for that too. Isn't that exactly what we do when we pray for people, when we pray for one another? We offer God's healing. Now these things are just a start, but in thinking of all these things about being disciples, I had a revelation that I need to be the one that helps each one of us develop or hone our skills that we each have that make us disciples of Christ. But for now, you need to know that you already have these things as part of your life. That you make connections between your faith and your daily life, perhaps without realizing it. Especially when you share with somebody else a story about maybe when you've been through a tough time and you say how your faith has helped you and you just relied on God. Your generosity, how we give to all the organizations and all the health of the church. We talk about our faith, but maybe not in biblical words. And I think that we also do take our time to point to where we see God active in our own lives and even in the world. And then I know a lot of you invite others to church. There's so much that we already do to be, and that we are disciples. We just might not realize it yet. And that's also something that we're doing as we talk about the governance of the church. The small group tasked to help us realign how we govern the church frees up each one of us to truly live as disciples and to not have to worry so much about running the church, but being the church. So go. Go as you live your life, baptize and teach. Go in doing what you're doing. Share your faith. Share your life. And God goes with you. Amen.